Hello.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm doing good. Are you ready?
I think.
Okay, I'm ready.
How do you feel when you see like a clip from a conservative news correspondent like go viral, like some Fox News clip? You see it on the internet. They're talking crazy mess. How does that? What's your like reaction when you see something like that?
My reaction is most of the time to block whoever shared it. And then just like keep it moving.
How do you feel when you see like a Black Republican correspondent like saying crazy things?
I mean, it's fine if that's their opinion, but I feel like sometimes like the clips themselves go viral because other people are like, see, if this Black person believes it, it must be okay for all Black people. I'm like, that's not necessarily true. So stop spreading it like that.
Right.
I mean, honestly, when I see a Black Republican saying crazy things, I just feel in such grief. But then at the same time, it's kind of like, wow, it's just like you're in the sunken place. It's just like the movie Get Out.
You're from Atlanta, right?
Mm-hmm.
Did you used to see Confederate statues?
So I didn't see Confederate statues, but I specifically remember a lot of people at my high school like either wearing Confederate flags or like flying Confederate flags from the back of their truck, or like have a Confederate flag license plate. And I would say that a lot of these kids in high school, they did not truly know what that flag meant. I think a lot of them just thought it's like, oh, it's cool, it's Southern, because
Right.
I'm Southern and I hunt, and this is sold at the fishing store, so I'm gonna put this on my truck. You know what I mean? I feel like a lot of them didn't know what it meant, but I think enough of them knew to where it was not appropriate.
Do they have Confederate statues in Arizona?
I think they do, yeah. I don't know exactly where they are, but I think I watched a thing that was like saying all the places that they are, and I'm pretty sure Arizona is one of them. But they didn't go up during the time of like the Confederacy, obviously, because I don't even think Arizona was a state at the time. But it was like a scare tactic rather than like people actually, it went up around like voting rights time. You know what I mean?
That's so weird that they would be attached to like the war that they weren't really even part of.
Right. That's why it's about something else, because you're like, this wasn't even about you guys.
Right.
So, what is this about? It was all like mind games.
Ew.
This does feel personal, like a personal attack on me, but it's more about like the people, like Black people in general. But it's just like, why are you fighting for this thing that's against a whole people? It's like like glorifying it in any way is like, why? Like, what is this about? Like, why would you do that? Unless, there's some racism tied to it, obviously.
Do you think like these Confederate statues, the Confederate flag, do you think they need to be removed?
Yeah, for sure. I think we've gone past, I feel like every decade or so we evolve, certain things that we used to say in like common slangish vocabulary we can't say now, you know what I mean? Because we as a society have learned that that's not okay. And so I don't really fault a lot of people back then, especially for things that were very popular to say, but I feel like right now we've gotten to a point where it's like it's 2021. The amount of information that is available is massive. You have the opportunity to educate yourself. And with everything that's been going on recently, you should know. I don't feel like there's an excuse. You know what I mean?
What do you say to people who are just like, this is just Southern culture, it's part of the culture?
It's just like, there's so many other amazing things about the South that you can accept as culture, like Southern hospitality, good food, like Southern food is very specific, things like that. But racism needs to stop being a part of the culture. That's not okay,
Do you feel like they should be replaced with something?
I
Or do you
mean,
think no statues?
I don't know what statue I would want, actually. Statues are weird in general. Like, I'm not like, please put one up of me, you know? I don't know who I would want a statue of necessarily.
Yeah.
You have somebody you would want a statue of?
Harriet Tubman.
Okay. I was like, Beyonce? I'm like, who gets a statue? Who's like allowed to get that? I just don't know.
Welcome back to Devil's Advocate, the new show where I obliterate liberal correspondence.
A show where we engage in healthy dialogue in order to
Word on the street is that citizens are aggressively pursuing the removal of statues of so-called racist historical figures. Listen, people, I am a Black woman, so I do feel an obligation to speak on this. Fact, racism is an opinion. How do we know they were racist? Okay, it's subjective. For example, I am married to a white man, and he couldn't possibly be racist no matter how much my mother tries to tell me he is. He loves Black women. I'm his third Black wife. It's an opinion. Okay, but she's wrong and I'm right. And because then, I'm closer to having power. So.
Wow, so those are absolutely not facts. And those statues represent horrendous things that people have done in the past.
Calm down. Do we know these historical figures were racist? No, we don't. Fact, racism can't be proven. We don't have any proof. And therefore, we should not remove statues just based on an opinion. Robert E. Lee was just a really great general. Why do you have to bring race into
Well, the proof is that they murdered innocent people so that they can...
Okay, Patrice. Calm down. Seriously, don't get your little snowflake panties in a bunch, okay? Second of all, if we really wanted to remove all statues of racist historical figures, we'd have no statues left. And what kind of a world is that? A world with no statues? That's not a world I want my partially white children to live in.
Oh, okay. So you think that Confederate soldiers who committed treason against America should be celebrated?
I'm just saying, I think the Randy's Donut statue is racist. But that's just my opinion. I have no desire to see it removed. And that's a fact.
That's not a fact!
Boom!
What are you saying?
You just got devil.
Can I speak at all, or are you just gonna...
I'm getting word from our producers that everyone is coming out gayer post-quarantine. And that's a cold-hearted Republican fact.
When you're in the workplace, do you feel like the pressure that you are representing Black women, you're representing the culture, and you need to do really well?
Yeah, 100%, definitely. You know, it's kind of like that Olivia Pope line, you know, where it's like you have to be twice as good to get half of what they have, you know what I mean?
For sure. Yeah. Like, if they hire me, they're gonna be like, I'm never hiring another Black person again. That's always what I think. I don't know why. That's bad.
And especially now because, you know, like I live in Japan, it's like even more of a, not necessarily a pressure, but more of a responsibility to display not only American culture, but Black culture as well. I feel like there's that I want to make sure that I bring to the table every day so that they can go into the world if they decide to and not feel any sort of prejudice or like bias against people of color.
Yeah, have you had any like weird interactions while working in Japan?
There was one time when one of the teachers was like, because the girl who had my job before me, she was from Jamaica, and one of the teachers asked me when I got that job, he was like, the teacher from Jamaica, she changed her hair a lot. Are you going to change your hair a lot too? I was like, I might, but I can't tell you right now because this is my protective style, but I might. We're gonna have to see.
Have you ever had an incident at work where you felt like oh no, I messed up and now they're gonna look at all Black people crazy.
There was one time when I looked at my calendar wrong and I thought I didn't have a class, but I did have a class. And so one of the teachers called me. She's like, hi, are you coming to class today? And I was like, oh my God. And so I ran all the way to the classroom and I was like, I'm so sorry. And I was telling them in Japanese, I was like, I'm so sorry. Please forgive me. I'm so sorry. And immediately I felt like such an intense shame because I was like, I can't believe I forgot I had class. You know what I mean? And I was like, oh my gosh, they're going to think I'm stupid. They're going to think like all of these things, you know what I mean? I feel like maybe we feel a lot of pressure to not make any mistakes, you know?
Yeah.
It's like, we can't afford to make mistakes almost. You know what I mean? It's because you don't want to like further perpetuate any kind of stereotypes, you know?
But yeah, no, I do think about that a lot. I do go like, if you act up today, what does this mean for Black people in the future?
What are things you try to like avoid doing? Like, what's your like checklist of like, don't do this, don't do this? Like, do you have one that you try to keep in mind?
I read my emails a ton just to make sure they don't come off like spiky in any way or like that they're opinionated one way or the other. Like, they're just like, this is the information. Hi, great. You know, at the end.
Do you feel like you code switch at work?
For sure.
Yeah. Absolutely.
All the time.
Yeah. Have you ever cried at work?
Oh, yes, I have.
When you do you feel they're like, no, you're not supposed to cry at work? Like,
yeah, exactly. I don't really ever cry in front of people at work, like, ever,
yeah,
unless it's like another Black person.
yeah. Have you ever wanted to cry at work?
Oh, for sure. I think I've cried recently, actually. But I work from home, so nobody would know. But yes, I do feel like dumb about it, or like, oh my gosh, they're gonna be like, she's so emotional, she can't handle this.
Did you ever have little like gossip talk by the water cooler or in the break room?
For sure. There's always drama over there. It's good drama. Like, it's, you know, you're like, oh, so-and-so's planning on leaving. Like that stuff. You're like, ooh, okay. Or they're talking about you. I'm like, oh, what?
Yeah. Have you ever had a moment like you're talking to someone in the break room, but then you're like, I can't talk about this in the break room.
Right. Let's go to our office because now you're talking mess. It's too much. If I gotta mouth it, it's too much. It's too much work.
Yeah. Break room professional. You have to keep it.
Know what you can say out loud at the break room.
Stupid. I shouldn't have even pitched anything in that meeting.
Hey, Cheryl.
Hey, Carrie.
Are you crying?
Well, I was just hoping that I was...
Girl, pull it together. You know we can't cry at work.
God, jeez, Carrie, you didn't have to slap me.
I'm sorry. I'm just very passionate about how we as Black women are perceived at work.
You're in HR, for God's sake.
You know, if they see one of us crying or being sensitive, they won't let us have anything. All of us will look bad.
I don't want to defend all Black women right now. I just want to cry.
We are always fighting for Black women. They'll call you weak. Come on, you're acting as weak as John's watered down pot of coffee here. Okay, pull it together. Like a strong Black espresso.
You're right. I'm just having a hard day. I was pitching new advertising campaigns and they tore my ideas to shreds.
You know what? Fuck those guys. You're brilliant. You just gotta play the game.
You know what? You're right. No more crying. From now on, I'll be an asshole just like them. Give them a taste of their own medicine.
Girl, think! You can't be mean. Otherwise, you're the angry Black woman. And not in a cool way, like Angela Bassett in Waiting to Exhale.
Well, damn. I thought the opposite of crying was to just be mean. Fine, I'll just be emotionless. No tears, no anger, just nothing.
No! They'll call you a cold-hearted bitch. Okay, they'll say you're not personable and that no one can relate to you. You need to be like Single Ladies era Beyonce. Okay? Relating to the public, always doing interviews, smiling.
You know what? I'm tired of all this slapping. I'm gonna report you to yourself.
Hey, ladies.
Oh, hey there, John.
Hi, John.
He knew something was up.
How? All I did was stand here politely and smile.
What? That's too flirty. Now he'll never take you seriously. He'll think you're just a LA face with an Oakland booty.
Okay, seriously, Carrie? You are tripping. No one is thinking this hard about this except for you.
Hey, Carrie. Can you stop by my office later? We're going to talk about the tardiness problem with the front desk employees.
Oh,
Thanks.
you betcha. Damn it, Cheryl! He knew what was going on in here.
Oh, this is why no one likes you HR bitches.
Now we look like two black women who can't get along. This is not the Real Housewives of corporate.
You're the one who's hitting me. You know what? I'm sick of this abuse. I'm about to throw these hands.
But you can't say that. It's too ghetto sounding.
Then what can I say, Carrie?
You're right. We can't do anything. Everything we do, it gets turned against us. Can't be sensitive or we're weak. We can't be harsh or we're man-haters. Can't be neutral or we're cold. And then if you smile, you look like you're flirting. But then if you don't smile, oh, then you're a prude. And God forbid you don't know how to take a compliment because then it's, oh, what's your problem? And then if you wear your hair big and curly at work, it's like, oh, everyone's a Black Panther. But if you wear it straight and sleek, it's like, oh, well, you're being fake. Is it even real? What are you even doing? And I'm like, why are we talking about my hair at work? And then when you want to go eat lunch and you order a salad, it's like, ooh, what are you watching your weight? But if you order a big steak, it's like, oh, she's got a hearty appetite. And I'm like, leave me alone. Why are we even talking about this? How do these switches arrive?
Oh, Carrie, one more thing. Oh, my goodness. What happened here?
I think her brain exploded.
Wow. Someone was too sensitive for the workplace. Oh, my goodness.
You're a hoot.
Another one.
Get a grip. I wonder if he's single.